How did you who was assigned to work on the technical vocabulary?
Ma'am, we actually base it on Tiersma's framework.
Yes, whose work? I know this is all from Teresma's framework, right?
Yes,
But
yes.
how was this done? So, did you read? Did you count the occurrences? Because you're saying the most prevalent. So, how was this actually done? Who worked on this? Who worked on this particular feature? Was somebody assigned to work on this particular feature?
Ma'am, actually, we just tried to randomize. I mean, the most obvious one.
Yeah, how was it randomized? So you went to section 4 and then what happened there? So you encountered these words, charter agreement, and then that's it. You identified that as part of technical vocabulary. How was it done? Because in academic writing, we do it scientifically, right? So you present here your objectives, framework, corpus. Oh, where is your procedure? It's not here. No procedure. How was it analyzed? Data analysis. So those two are missing components of this presentation. So how was it done? So when you say randomize, so how was it? So you had a contract with you. What happened next? Can you like provide us a run
Ma'am,
through of what
for
you
the
did?
technical vocabulary, we just chose the words that we didn't understand po.
Sorry, technical. You chose. So how was it? So what may be okay, understandable to one may not be understandable to another one. So how was it? So you just chose, oh, this one. So did you reread the text together? Did you sit down, the four of you, or someone was assigned to work on the technical vocabulary? Tell me the dynamics, how you did it, how you did this work.
we
Ma'am,
read it.
we read
Huh?
it,
No,
we,
together or
yes,
somebody was assigned?
together.
Ah, together. Okay, so how? Can you tell me the procedure? Because you didn't place it here. It's actually required. So you sat together, the four of you, and then
And then we identified the words that we didn't understand. And since in the Article 1, there's called Article 1 definition, we just thought na hindi po, itong mga technical
Article 1 definition. Sorry, where's that? Article. Because
I'm,
you only have these
mhm.
these words here. Charter agreement. Section 4. So these are what? Instances? Because you said here in your RQ, prevalent legal language complexity. So prevalent would be the most common that's used. So how can we be sure that these are commonly used here? Charter agreement. How frequent is this used? Charter agreement, force majeure. Are they mentioned a lot of times? Because you're saying the prevalence of these vocabulary, technical vocabulary.
Ma'am, actually po, it's not, the technical vocabulary used po is not too much naman po na ginamit sa text. But there are some technical vocabularies that is not defined in the Article 1, which dun po nakalagay yung definitions
Sorry,
ng
where's the
mga,
article 1? Ano ba yung
um,
article 1? So in
we
the
didn't,
first
the
part of
article po,
the
article.
contract.
Yes po.
Okay. So those that are not defined there.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
so how was it? You went okay from the definition, section 1, section 2. So how was it? Or did you just find okay in random, oh there's some here in section 4 like that? So meaning everything was done in random?
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay. What about this one? Wordiness and redundancy. So how do you say that this is wordy and redundant? The one highlighted here.
Ma'am, it's because
Mm-mm.
of the words, acquired
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay, what about the word
purchased.
acquired?
Like it can be simplified lang po.
Like, in what way?
For example,
Mm-mm.
so the ticket has been acquired or reported to have been acquired unlawfully or has been purchased or reported to have been purchased from an entity other than PAL or its authorized agent. So
Mm-mm.
we revise it into the ticket
Where's the
has been
revision? Where's the
it's
revision?
in the data analysis po, slide 12. Ay,
So you have here
ay,
the okay.
well,
So I don't really understand this. You have here results, but where are the results here? As the researchers analyze the data, they have encoded and revised. So you're supposed to present here the results. What are
and
these
there,
then?
and
Data
there, ma'am, data
analysis,
analysis.
sorry data analysis could be the procedure. How did you analyze the data? So it's just a description, right? It's just a description how you did it. So these the results already then? Are these the results already? So this should be part of the results. Procedure was applied. Because you have here, di ko alam, akala ko ito na yung results nyo eh. So what are these then? Research corpus. So the research corpus would be a description, okay, that you analyze PAL. It's a document that consists of these number of words, 8,000 words, something like that. That's the research purpose, a description of the PAL. Or you just present the terms and conditions. What is it? Taken from this website, something like that. So it appears here that this is already your this is already your results, but not yet. Are these your results na ba o hindi pa ba?
Not yet, ma'am. It's
No
like
po.
we evidence lang po. Like,
Evidence.
yes, ma'am. We
Okay.
thought corpus is the evidence. That's why. Like,
Corpus. But next time you know, okay? So the corpus would just be a description of what you're analyzing. Procedure, just like this one. Discourse analysis in order to further comprehend. It's used in order to ascertain the meaning. Text was analyzed. Types of legal language. Okay? So what about this one? What about for the data analysis?
The application na po, ma'am, of what we did po.
Mm-mm.
like the
Okay.
results na po.
So these
Yes,
are
ma'am.
already your results, okay? But this is the data analysis, so you just need to present how you analyze your data. Okay, that's the thing here. Okay, so here, these are already your results. So original text, the ticket has been acquired, and then you say the ticket has been reported. But this is, okay, in your original text, this is not the, okay, let me see. Let's go here. Here, the ticket has been acquired. It's part of a sentence. 'Di ba? It's part of a sentence. You appear to be improperly documented if the ticket has been acquired to have been acquired unlawfully or has been purchased. It's not really like this. Okay, 'di ba?
Yes,
What's the
ma'am.
essence of this one? You appear the airline is saying that you you appear to be improperly documented. So there are conditions presented when the airline regards you as not properly documented. One, your ticket. You have problems with your ticket concerning how you acquired it, okay? How you bought it, how you purchased it. And so the original text is problematic because it doesn't provide the complete meaning of what's in the original text. You would get what I mean here?
Yes,
Because what
ma'am.
do you mean by the ticket has been acquired or reported to have been purchased, and then the ticket has been reported to, because there's a reason for saying it doesn't necessarily mean that you've acquired it to have been the ticket has been acquired or reported to have been unlawfully or has been purchased to have been purchased from, yeah, it's really redundant, but the how you transform should be in
The whole sentence.
yeah, in a
Yes.
more accurate manner, because you just pick something and then you, okay, without looking at the original, okay, the real essence of what this provision says. Okay, let's, okay, what about this one? Long and complex. The original. If you conduct yourself in a manner described, you will indemnify. Okay. So what's your basis for revising it this way? Because it seems to still be long. Is your basis the plain language
Yes, ma'am
guidelines?
po.
Yeah, but you have here, okay, is this just one sentence? Because you have a colon here. Look, a colon. That means that these are still part of your sentence.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
how many words are there? Because in a plain language guideline, part of the plain language guidelines is that you only need to have about within 20 words. So how many words do you have? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so parang 80 na siya. 80 words. So how did you revise it? Almost the same. So what's your basis? Huh? Oh, then you have here results. So long and complex wordiness. So did you just analyze two? Wordiness and redundancy and long and complex. What about the others? Because there are four, right? There are supposed to be four characteristics or frameworks. What about the others? What did you do? Anyone from the group can answer?
Ma'am, what's the
Yes.
question po again?
Yeah, the question is what happened
Ah,
with the other
okay, ma'am.
characteristics? You only have here two. You're supposed to have four, right? So you have your only wordiness and redundancy, long and complex. So
We just,
part of your RQs would be to transform these into their plain language alternatives. But what about the two? As you're saying that these are already part of your results. What about the two other characteristics? What did
ma'am,
you do? Mm-mm.
actually, since we didn't make a revision of the corpus na nahanap namin in
Mm-mm.
technical verbs and modal
So you
verbs,
did not. What did you do then?
wait lang, ma'am. We just identify the we just identify po the technical vocabulary and explain that it is parang normalized
So
in
where?
ano.
Where is it? Where's the
We
explanation
I
here?
mean, we thought we will just present it po, ma'am. But we
Huh?
said, we just made it po as a presentation and we didn't include in the PowerPoint po.
Ah,
I
it's
thought we
not.
will present it po. That's why the explanation of the
Yeah,
PowerPoint.
yeah, that's why I'm asking now.
Ay, no,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm asking now.
So,
So no need for you to present.
okay.
You just need to justify what you
Okay.
did here.
So for the technical vocabulary, it was prevalent in various types of the text as well as in the article. However, depending on the context, various vocabulary words may be difficult to comprehend by
So
ordinary
where? How do you know
individuals.
that they are difficult to comprehend? Because those are already claims, Maricar. Those are already, you know, opinionated claims unless you have evidence. So how do you know that those are difficult to understand? So you have here, you're supposed to have four, right? So technical vocabulary, modal verbs. What about your modal verbs? No modal verbs here? You only did three? You're supposed to have four, right? One for each. So you did not work on the modal verbs anymore.
We worked on the modal
Okay,
verbs,
where?
but we did not include it on the
So
data
why? Why
analysis
did you not
because
include
there's
it?
no revision po.
There's no revision. But based
That's
on, yeah, but based on your RQ, here, identify these. So dapat for each one.
ma'am. We
Yeah,
noted.
for
Yes,
each
ma'am.
one.
So,
Okay, you note these? Mm-mm.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so, yeah, go on.
So the only revision that we did is for the long and complex sentence as well as the redundancy.
Yeah, but based on your objectives, you have here. the legal language complexities observed in the given article. But don't tell me that these were not observed. The modal verbs, they're there, right? Diba? They
Yes,
are
ma'am.
they're in the document, the modal verbs. Even the use of shall, problematic use of shall is there also. Yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sige. Thank you. Next. Are these around now? See, okay. Okay, Christine, two Christines, Yani and Dejai. Okay, which among the legal language occurred most frequently? Okay, so with this RQ, you're going to pinpoint the characteristics that occurred most frequently. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Essential guidelines differ from essential guidelines differ from legal. Ah, okay. So, what about this one? How did you attempt to answer this RQ? Do essential guidelines differ from legal courtroom documents and files? Remember, in any RQ that you present in a research work, in academic writing, you need to have data that you have gathered, data that you will analyze, data that you will present in the results and discussion. So, how do you intend to how did you answer this one? Number 2.
Hey, are you still here?
Dejai,
Ma'am, we just um assumed that
assume. Okay.
yes,
No assumptions in academic writing, ha?
yes,
No
ma'am.
assumptions in thesis writing because that's not, you know, part of what we do in research. No assumptions. You need to back up everything by with evidence. You need to justify everything. Okay? So disregard this then? Wala to? This not answered?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So when you say which among the legal characteristics occurred most frequently, I'm expecting the numbers then. Okay. I'm expecting for you to identify which characteristics occurred the most based on that RQ, huh? So corpus, procedure, data analysis, results. Oops. Where are the results?
Ma'am, yung number of frequency po, it's included in the research corpus. There was a table there with the number.
Where?
Research corpus part po.
Research corpus part.
There
This
po.
one?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Look here. This is just your methodology. And so this is not part of your results. In the methodology, you explain. Okay. You learn that in your research methodology course, that in the methodology part, you need to provide an account of how you did the work so that other researchers would have a way to duplicate or replicate your work so that your readers would understand your research. Okay, so for your readers to be able to understand your results, they should go back to the methodology how you did it. So this is just these are not part of the results yet because you're supposed to be explaining your corpus. So in the research corpus, okay, that's based on your research methodology course or any research work at that, your research corpus must just explain what did you use. So you just need to present that you made use of the PAL terms and conditions document. Okay, that's just it. How many words? If you're able to identify how many words, the total document is, then good. How many provisions? So any information about the PAL terms and conditions document that you analyze, but not the results here. Okay, so you have here May 79 shall 70. Okay, so what about the results here? Where's the shall? Characteristic modal verbs occur the most in the given text, followed by archaic vocabulary. Where's your evidence for this? That the modal verbs occurred more. So how do you compare? How do you compare? So did you try to count the number of modal verbs vis-a-vis the number of archaic vague words? Oh, and why do you need to compare them? Because you have here, these are lexical features: archaic, vague words, technical vocabulary, lexical, modal verbs, lexical. But you have here long and complex sentences. How can you compare lexical versus syntactic features? You're just, you know, comparing apples to oranges, but not apples to apples, to to apples, oranges to oranges for that matter. So we don't compare that way. Okay, so a thing for improvement next time. So
Okay
may
po.
I just know how did you work on this? Because I don't see any evidence here. Archaic informal where? Where's the evidence for the archaic modal verbs were present? Oh, were present and were analyzed, but these are not your results. You're just telling that they were analyzed using manual reading, and this is part of your data analysis actually. That you analyze them using content, content way, content analysis, but you're not presenting the results because here you have results. Composition were compared. Oh, these are explanations of how you did the analysis, but this is lacking in terms of the results. So how did you do the analysis?
Ma'am, for what we did po, we tried explaining in the simplest way in our
Where?
data analysis.
So
Data
where?
analysis part po for four of the characteristics, and for the results part, we just kind of
Oh,
summarized and
okay.
mentioned what really happened, because
Mm,
um we figured we shouldn't put so much words on it,
mm-mm,
because it was
mm-mm,
one of the instructions to use one slide each for each
mm-mm.
part.
Yeah,
So we
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
really
Okay,
figure that we should
I
put
see.
everything
Okay.
all on the
Yeah.
PowerPoint.
Yani, this one should just be one sentence, one slide for the data analysis because it's just an explanation of how you analyze the data. But it seems here that these are already your results. So there's a long label here because this is your methodology. Remember, in a methodology, you just present there, okay, what did you analyze? How did you do the analysis? That's the methodology. Yeah,
Okay,
but
yes
not
po.
yeah, but not here. Not here in the data analysis because the data analysis would already be in your results. So, are you saying now that this should be part of your results? Ito, data analysis. Ito.
Yes po, that data
I did
analysis.
not put any label there in the results that you need to place there how many, just one slide. Okay? I hope I'm clear on that. There are no restrictions on the number of slides in the results part, only in the other parts. Because naturally, those are just descriptions. Okay? So here, data analysis. So again, wrong label. They should be results. Most of the technical terms are already common and are defined. How do you know that they're already common and are defined? Okay. Archaic. The general is written in a formal form as it contains notices. So what's your evidence for these? Archaic, formal, unusual words.
For what we did po when it comes to analyzing about the archaic, formal, and unusual words, we've based on the document po and used this what they call this feature where you can easily find specific words
So
that
control F,
yes
is
po.
it? Control F.
Yes,
Okay.
and we based po from an article we found. online listing the different existing archaic words in different legal
Okay.
texts, and
Mm-mm.
every word that we research that is classified as an archaic word, we tried to find it in the document. So that's how we
Okay. Okay.
figured out that these specific words are present
I
in a
see.
specific document,
I see. But
and
you
we
have,
listed for the words
yes.
um
You
in the
listed,
document.
but these are just samples. But you notice here, the general conditions is written in a formal form. How do you know that it's formal? What's your
Um,
evidence for saying that it's formal when it's just written like this? Although most words used are simple. So what's the evidence for saying that most words are simple words that can be easily understood? Because we don't put claims here that cannot be justified with no basis. Because you see here that can be easily understood by literate. What's your claim here? This is very opinionated unless you have proof to say so. That's what I'm saying. There's still
understood.
some archaic words used in the text. So where are those archaic words? So because you're just saying example. So where's the evidence? Where's the scientific way of how you counted? So how many occurrences of archaic, formal, and unusual words were there? You have evidence? Did you count each one? So that's what I'm
Um,
actually checking or um trying to find in this presentation. Okay, let's have here. The modal verb use is mostly present, but I don't think so. What's your basis for this? That it's shall that's most present in the different parts of the document. You have a basis here? Did you count?
Christine Mamaril, are you already here in the meeting? She was having a hard time for
Yes
us to
po.
come in.
We count it using the control F as well.
Yeah, you counted, but this is not the most prevalent modal verb use, Christine. Are you accurate on this? Are you sure that this is the mostly present, most commonly used modal verb in the document?
No po. Yun
No.
may po yung
No,
mas
sorry.
prevalent.
No pero. What did you say?
The shall verb is mostly used in the
You said no. How do you know that it's the mostly present? It's the most commonly used one.
using the control F po
Control
yung
S, but there are other modal verbs, Iha. How do you know?
yes
How do
po.
you know that this is the most commonly used one? You're telling me earlier that you're not sure, but then you're saying, but this is the most commonly used. You're saying so. Kindly, um, confirm or validate your claim, okay? Because yeah, it seems to be confusing. Are you saying that shall is the most commonly used, mostly present in the document? Is it?
Ma'am.
Yes.
No po.
No.
I
Okay.
think
No. Christine, no,
I'm sorry.
it's
Yes po.
not. Why did you say it? So
Yes po.
malito. This is wrong. It's not the mostly present, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes po.
So hindi. Okay, so everything that you place here on your presentation slides would matter, would be scrutinized. So make sure that your presentation, the information that you present, all the information is actually accurate. Okay, what about this one? Long and complex sentences. So how's this one? Were observed to be included. So how do you know when you say that long, compound, complex, and compound sentences? Did you count? How did you check this one? How did you examine? Because these seems that they are just mere generalization. So how did you do the actual analysis? Because that's what you're supposed to do.
Ma'am.
Yes. Who's that? Who's that talking?
Me, DJ po.
DJ.
We
DJ. Yeah.
we just took a small sample of it randomly. Sample of long
Randomly.
and yes, ma'am, complex
Randomly. So,
sentences.
for example, you're in section 4 or section 5 and you notice something here, then that's it?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, it was not
We
really a, a rigorous work that you did.
yes, it was not.
It was not. Okay. So, next time you do it, because this is, yeah, that's what the task called for, right? You're supposed to analyze. Okay, you're supposed to do an analysis based on Tiersma's work. So as linguists, you should be doing that. You should be doing, each one of you must be assigned a work, and then like do the rigorous work that linguists do. Okay.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
next. Okay, the group of Jean, Marika, Marian, Janina, and Jasmine. So you're five. What characteristics are present in the document? How should these selected be presented? Okay, so you went beyond, okay, the activity by working on the plain language alternative here. All right, so Pierre's framework, let's see, procedure, data analysis, results. Oh, so
Hello,
where are the
ma'am.
results?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
It's Yani, ma'am.
Mm-mm.
I actually, ma'am, ngayon lang po namin na-realize. We're sorry. Heads up lang po. Actually, yung results po, na-realize po namin na it's nasa
Okay. In
data
English,
analysis
please.
po siya.
So data analysis then. All right.
Yes,
I'm
it
sure.
was interchange.
Yeah, you have done a lot of readings, right? So make sure that you have the right labels here. Okay. So the data analysis should be the results part.
Yes po.
Okay. So poor organization, long and complex sentences. Okay. So
Ma'am, another
how
heads
is
up.
this? Oh, what is it? Oh no, we forgot to record the video. Oh no. Shucks. Okay. Sorry. We forgot to record again. Okay, go. Right, go. Yani.
I think
No.
ayun po, nawala po yung share screen. For the long and complex sentence po, it failed to show the revised version, but I only suggested what on how it should be revised. In simple terms, I mentioned there that conditions and also the exceptions were mentioned in the whole paragraph, but I was not able to show the revised text for it. And for the poor organization, can
Okay, wait. Yani, you're giving me heads up, but let's go to your research questions because you're supposed to be answering them, right? Okay. What characteristics are presented in the document? So, given these RQs, what characteristics of legal language complexity? So, you're supposed to be describing how complex they are in the text. Okay? So, let's go first to the poor organization. So, how was it done? And can you provide me your results? So, because you only have here poor organization. So, what do you mean by this? Who worked on this one? An outline organizing bulleted letters was presented. However, it did not follow the standard outline form. So what do you mean by it did not follow? Even if you don't follow the standard outline, as long as you are consistent, then I don't think it matters. So it's poor organization. Diba poor organization refers to how the ideas are actually connected, how the ideas are presented. So is it about just using the bulleted letters? And that means already that it's poorly organized. Is that what you mean?
Ma'am, we observed that in each article po, each sections were just repeating its content So that's why we've
Repeating
observed
its
na
content.
there's a
Sorry, what
poor
do you mean?
organization.
What do you
And
mean
then
by
in each
Jasmine?
article,
Jasmine, wait lang, Jasmine. What do you mean by repeating its content?
paulit-ulit lang po yung meaning na bawat
Like
section po.
where?
Like it's
Where?
constructed in another here po, ma'am.
Where? Because it's
Fairs
not
po,
really
about
presented
fairs.
about fairs. Okay.
About fairs.
Okay. So what about fairs? Are only for Are these the same thoughts?
It should be done that
So I don't think
it could be done in just one paragraph po.
but bullets, according to plain language guidelines, bullets are more important, are more easily readable than placing them in just a single paragraph. But I don't think they're just repeated here, because this one, letter A, would refer to, okay, the carriage, and then here the calculation, and then 3, these are different things. Were you able to analyze the whole thing that you're saying it's poorly organized? Did you analyze the whole detail? The whole document?
I just observed that, ma'am, in each article po, there's really a different structures of how the bullets were constructed.
Okay.
And then,
I see. So
ito
the
po yung
bullets were
example na.
constructed.
Yes,
Bullets. Okay. But does that mean that how the bullets are presented in a way from one section to another, does that constitute poor organization already? So
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
just presenting, okay, A, it's like that's just the formatting, Christine. So does that already present poor organization?
Yes, ma'am.
In what way? So dun ka lang sa formatting, you're telling na poor organization na siya.
Yes, ma'am. Since we all know that there's a standard outline format, which
What's the
consists
standard?
of Roman
Jasmine,
numeral.
Jasmine, I've been telling you that as long as, okay, you don't, okay, there are already varied bulleting styles now. You don't just, focus on those Roman numeral. That's very
Yes, ma'am.
traditional, Iha. As long as as long as you're modern, as long as you present, yes, you may have a point that, okay, the formatting would be different, but does that constitute poor organization in itself with the formatting?
Yes, ma'am.
When do you say that a text is organized well? When there's poor organization? When can you say that a document is poorly organized?
When the texts are not coherent with each
Oh,
other.
coherence. Okay. And what about the formatting that you're saying here? That's just a minor thing out of what you're supposed to be checking on the coherence, Iha.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
So
I just observed that sometimes the texts were redundant already. That's why
I'm
I
asking you.
emphasize
I'm asking
that
about the
it seems that the
redundancy.
bullet.
I'm asking about the redundancy now. Because here, based on your example, they're not redundant. Paano naging redundant yung A dito? Apply only for carriage. Number 2, letter B, di ba? Your fares are calculated according to this. These are different aspects naman eh. What I'm saying is, you should have presented something that really reflects your point. But because these are different, are valid ideas here, are not redundant. Do you have other examples to show the redundancy?
Now, Janina po. I found po dun sa isang part. I found at one part of the article, the some of the bullets were repeating what they were saying in the first sentence. I
Yeah,
will
but
just try to look for it.
but you're not, presenting it well here in this slide.
Okay
Okay,
po.
Yes,
your
ma'am.
point, right? Tama ba?
Yes, ma'am. We were confused po that for organization should be how it was formally constructed po. Hindi lang po dapat. I mean, it wasn't just supposed to be based on the formatting itself. So
Okay.
that's on our end.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Next.
for
Yes,
the
Janina.
redundancy po, I will just
Redundancy, wait, we're still in the part of the redundancy ba
yes po,
yan?
I will just state po an example which I found po. In Article 10 refunds, the statement refund of a ticket or any of its unused portion, including taxes, fees, or any other amount collected for or on behalf of any third party the statement was repeated numerous times throughout the article po. That's why we put it in redundancy po.
Redundancy part of per organization, or you have here another thing? But there's nothing here about redundancy. Is there something on redundancy here?
We placed it po before, but I don't know if they...
So wala naman dito. How
okay
many
po.
are you supposed to... poor organization, long and complex sentence, modal verbs, there's supposed to be 5, but there's none on redundancy and wordiness. So that's not part of what you're supposed to analyze. Wala naman dito siya. And you only have here, these are just those things. So is that part of the poor organization? But there's another characteristic that's presented by Tiersma on redundancy and wordiness and redundancy. So Janina, maybe you missed that one in your group?
Okay po,
Yes, ma'am.
noted ma'am.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So here, what's your basis for saying that these are long and complex sentences? Did you have to count them? To count how many complex sentences occurred? How many long sentences occurred?
As I stated po, ma'am,
Wala.
the
Hindi nyo nagawa. It's
No, ma'am.
just...
yes, ma'am. I just described lang po what I
What-
was supposed to suggest.
Yeah. So what about this one? How did you choose this one? Section 3, was it in random? Purely in random that you check, okay, section 3, this seems to be long, and then, okay, you
No,
just...
ma'am. We distributed articles po. Naghati po kami in 4.
Okay.
And then we tried consulting each other if these paragraphs or these articles show long and complex. Is it hard to understand because it's too long? If it's it can be revised into
I
a
see.
simpler way. And then when we tried to analyze it based on the personal data, I realized that there were a lot of purposes, and actually the main there is the purposes, and then it shows also the exceptions, and it was placed in one paragraph. So I think it can be revised more in simpler terms that it would not contain all of those conditions being stated.
But what your main goal here is just to describe the linguistic features, right?
Okay.
So
po.
you cannot
Yes.
go on, okay, in analyzing or determining what could be a difficulty, what could be misunderstood when you're not
Yes.
able to conduct yet the comprehensibility testing, because you need to have a basis for everything. You need to justify all the actions that you do in the paper based on what's in there, based on the data. So you can't say that this could be misinterpreted because it's long. That's very opinionated. Everything must be supported by evidence. Okay? Next, modal verbs. How was this done? So what did you find about the modal verbs? Who worked on this?
Ma'am, me po, Mari.
Yes. Marika. Yeah, Marika.
So, just like what Yanni said po earlier, we decided to divide the document And
So,
then,
meaning when you divided the document, so all of you would need to look for the modal verbs in that particular section, archaic, impersonal, and poor organization and long complex sentences in that particular section that's assigned to you.
uh, we decided po to look for, yes po, the complexities.
And that could be problematic because for the poor organization, it should be analyzed from a single perspective, the whole thing, and not per section itself, right? So could be per section, but you need to see the totality of the whole document. Because if you're just going to look at your specific section, then you won't be able to see how the whole text is organized. So here, you don't have any numbers of occurrences or frequencies also. So you just
In the
pick, okay.
In the
In the
corpus.
corpus,
What corpus?
research corpus po.
Oh, research corpus. So what about this?
We listed
Okay.
po the
Next time,
number.
ha? Okay. We're having problems with the labels here. So, research corpus would be just about the description of the where you will get your data, of the data that you will analyze. So this is your corpus. From your corpus will evolve your data. So you have here the modal verbs. So you have 70 here, you say? Are you sure of this? What about the other modal verbs? Is this the most frequently used, shall, among all the modal verbs?
Yes po.
Yes po.
But you're not right on that. It's not shall. That's the most frequently used. What's your basis for saying shall?
We just use Control F po,
Control
ma'am.
F, but there are other modal verbs, Iha. Okay?
We included po will, can, would.
Hmm.
It's stated po.
No. What about may? May is also a modal verb. Did you try looking for that one?
No.
No. Okay, it's actually the most commonly used. So it's not shall.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, next, archaic. So here, ganun din, you do it in random. And so with the impersonal constructions.
Yes, ma'am. We just choose those
Yeah.
random po.
So how was this done? Was it on the syntactic level or lexical level? Impersonal constructions. Who worked on this? So lahat kayo. Okay, explain to me how you worked on the impersonal constructions.
Ma'am, for the impersonal constructions, actually, we tried analyzing on how
You ched? Sorry, I don't understand. What did you say? We just,
we checked po
you
that
check.
pal.
You check the word pal. Okay, and then?
And then we realized that it was used frequently, but
yeah, okay.
Not on
Marian. So with PAL, okay, you did Control F on PAL, right? So how was the counting done? How was it? So per use of PAL, you counted that? Did you?
No, ma'am.
So how was it? So how was the analysis done? Was it in a lexical, the use of PAL, or
lexical? Ano, ma'am? Okay, let me explain po. PAL was used po in a third person basis po, and then we tried counting on that po.
Okay, so you're saying lexical level nga kasi PAL is used as a word. Is that it?
Yes, ma'am.
But also notice in the contract that there are uses of you, your, okay, and that's already a conversational tone. So how was it when there's PAL in the sentence, within the sentence, and there's also you there? So did you count that to be an impersonal construction?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Did you even count the occurrences or not? Did you
No.
count? No
No.
din. So wala din. Okay, now last question. What about the analysis of this one? So per word ba siya or per sentence?
We did it per word po, ma'am.
So PAL. So what I'm telling is that it's not accurate, really. Because if you just check the use of PAL and that's already in personal construction, then how would you decide when there's PAL there and there's you? Okay, if you closely read the document, PAL would blah 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 you to be. So that's already conversational. That's engaging the reader as if you're just there as the reader. So would you say that it's still in personal construction with just the mere presence of PAL? So you need to dig deeper and check on those things, huh? Next
Okay po.
time.
Yes, ma'am.
That's 11:04. Next. Okay, let's have the work of Justin, Zorina, Kia, Samantha, Rogimir. Okay, here, complex vocabulary use, identify, okay, legal terms, and analyze the long and complex. So here, complex language. How is this different from complex language, the legal terms, and then the complex language? Is there any difference? So I'm basing on the objective that you place here. Anyone from the group can answer.
Good morning, ma'am.
Hi.
Um, well, we in our insight po, we thought that there would be a difference on the legal terms because of terms that will be used in more legalist kinds, and those that are somehow complicated, then it's
So how are
more
they different
alternative
then?
meaning.
Okay, because in analyzing the document itself, you would have a basis. So when you say it's a complex language, is the legal term also considered to be a complex language or not? So how did you operationally define complex language here from legal terms? I'm just basing on your objectives, huh? The presentation of your objectives. Because these are in the lexical level here, complex language, legal terms. And then the last one would be sentence or syntactic level. So is there a difference between these two or they should just be improved later on?
Ma'am, I think it would be improved later on
Okay,
because
sige.
we never thought it really.
Okay, sige.
You.
All right. Next. Okay, so here, analyze, content, finding out the 5 out of 9 of the characteristics, then results. Oh, where are your results? Why is it just like this? Where the counting, the occurrences? So how did you do this one? Technical vocabulary, are these the only ones that appeared? Gratuitous, pursuant, charter agreement, modal
Uh,
verb shall take, shall affix, must ensure?
no, ma'am. Actually, what we thought of the results is that we would just do a random sampling of the examples for the technical vocabulary instead of actually taking on the whole article.
Yeah, so you should have asked for clarification, huh?
Yes po,
Okay,
ma'am.
no assumptions, please.
Will do
Okay?
po, ma'am.
Yeah. So here, this is very limited because how would we know the rigor that the effort that you took in examining each one? Because you even ask for an extension. If this is just the presentation, then it would take like less than an hour to present this. If you're just going to pick in random these aspects here, we can't even see, evidence of counting the frequency and all if it's just like this. Yeah, so next time, okay,
Yes po,
please
ma'am.
improve on this.
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay, next. Okay, this is from Roxarl J. usefulness, and Agatha. Thus, the Philippine contain the following characteristics. So, if this is your RQ, then is it a yes in the results? Anyone from the group can answer, because if you have the okay, yes no question as your RQ, then it means that that should also be what you will present in the results. So what I'm
Ma'am?
saying is we don't usually ask the yes no question here unless it's a statist you're presenting it, supporting your claims or results with statistics. Yeah?
Di na po yes or no nalagay
Yes,
namin.
Jay.
Di na po yes
Yeah?
or no nalagay namin. Straight na po to a few examples.
Ah,
Sunod,
yeah, but in your
Ma'am?
RQs, you have here thus the Philippine
Yes, ma'am.
Airlines. Yeah,
Yes,
so
ma'am. In our conclusion po, we have stated po that at the end of the analysis, the results show that the PAL GCOC does not contain
mm-mm,
these characteristics
mm-mm.
po.
But that's in the
Therefore,
conclusion, Agatha.
yes,
That's in
ma'am.
the conclusion, right? So you need to improve how you formulate your
Okay po.
questions. Okay?
okay
Okay,
po.
Because
ma'am.
in the results, you're to present the occurrences or how these are presented, how these characteristics are evident, okay, in the work. Also this one, what are the implications? So no need for the implications because
Okay
it's
po.
really usual, it's regular, it's normal that you provide implications because that will serve as part of your discussion. Remember, in a paper you have results and discussion, so part of your discussion would be providing implications. So here you have, okay,
Here,
modal
ma'am, we
verbs.
just defined po the
Okay,
characteristics that are to
modal
be
verbs. Okay.
analyzed.
Okay, for organization, research corpus, procedure, data analysis. Okay, results. Okay, so you have here 38. Highest frequency, may. Possibility, permission obtains. Okay. Okay, I appreciate the fact that you have here, you counted, okay? You presented occurrences, frequency. Okay, but then it would be better if you have the percentage with you. Okay, because it's more understood, you see the bigger perspective here. Because if you see, okay, how many total number of modals were used, so out of 120, 38 out of 120, then it's easier to see, oh, almost one fourth, that's about one fourth, 25%, something like that. Okay, so it's really better to show it through a table or through figure, not just like this uh, f- in in a way that you have these figures. Okay, so it's better. Anyway, it's up for presentation, it's a PPT or a Google Slides presentation, so it's better. But yeah, this is so acknowledged that you took the time to count how many modal verbs were there. And so with the results that you have here, not multiple. Okay, a lot of multiple. No one. Did you count this one? The use of multiple negations? Did you do the counting? Frequency counting? Anyone from the group can answer? No, no one. Did you count the multiple negations? Frequency
Ma'am,
of
wait
multiple
lang po.
negations. Mm.
Si Faith po
Faith.
having
Okay.
problems with her connection. Wait lang po.
Okay. So she's assigned. Okay, let's have first poor organization. So how was this? Does not in fact have the characteristic. So when you say does not in fact have the poor characteristic of poor organization, this is already negation, ha? You're doing negation. Does multiple negation here. Does not in fact have the characteristic of poor organization. So it's well organized then?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. The text makes use of headings, subtitles, okay, definitions, okay, arrange. Okay. So um acknowledge that how you organize, how you analyze the organization was taken as a whole. Okay, from the headings to subtitles. So looking at the document, okay, as one, not just per article or per section. Okay, next, just the last one. That one, that last question. Faith?
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
sorry po.
sorry.
Mm-mm.
Si Roxarl po pala yung
Roxarl.
sa
Yeah,
multiple negations
Roxarl?
and
Wala pa po.
she's
Wala.
absent
All
po.
right, absent. Thank you. Next. This one from Jaira, John Paul, Alian, Giselle, and Marvi. Examine and identify. Okay, when you examine, part of when you do the examination, you also identify. So you may drop this one. The legal language complexity, specify the characteristics. What do you do with this? What did you do with this? Specify the characteristics. Is this different from examining? Anyone from the group can answer? Specify the characteristics of the said language complexity. So what did you do with this second research question here? Second objective.
Ma'am, this is
Yes,
Marley
Marvy.
po. For as stated in our procedure po, the first step po is to like look for complicated or unusual terms or phrases and sentences, and then after that like um characterize it based on the framework po that
Yeah,
was given.
when you see characterize, because when you examine, you're already using the framework. But when you do characterize, what do you mean? When you characterize the said legal language complexity, isn't it already part of you doing the examination? So when you specify the characteristics, diba, when you examine, isn't it part of the bigger umbrella here? When you do examine, you all already state these ones, the characteristics and all.
Yes, ma'am. We just specified po that after reading or and looking for the terms or phrases po, we accordingly put it into the given characteristics from the framework po.
From the framework. So
Yes
still
po.
part of the examining
Yes, ma'am. Yes
objective.
po.
So no need for this one, the second
Okay
one.
po. Yes.
Okay? Next. Made use tabular organizer. So let's see. Baggage. Okay, modal verbs. So how was it? How was this done? So no counting done, no occurrences. These are just samples here. Did you
Um,
have to count the occurrences or frequencies of
not
shall?
not necessarily, ma'am. We just like the first few characteristics that are present po in the article and then made samples from the text po.
Mm-mm. So how did you know the totality? Like these are just samples of shall, but there are other, other modal verbs that were used also. So how did you do this? In random?
Yes po, in random, ma'am.
Okay. Also with these other things here, technical
Yes.
vocabulary, all in random.
Yes po.
Okay. So next time, do a more scientific way of analyzing. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank
So
you po.
thank you. Next. Okay, Michaela, Derek, Kathleen, and Viana. How were the researchers able to utilize? This is not the way how we formulate a research question, because in a research question you do have your data. Because here it's like your objective. How did you utilize? Because if you're asking this one, if you're asking how were the researchers able to utilize, then your answer would be the procedure, right? You're providing in your results the procedure of how you use their framework, but this is not the way you did it. Tama ba? Your group, Michaela, Derek, Kathleen, Viana, that's not the way you did it. Your answer is the answer to the how. Did you really do this one? Are you providing us a procedure for your answer for our RQ1? Anyone from the group can answer? were the researchers able to utilize? Am I expecting in the results that you're presenting to me, you're presenting to us the answer to the how here? So how? So meaning your answer would be procedural. 1, we did this. 2, this. 3, this. Like that? Is that like that? Is that your answer to the RQ1? Wala? No one is present from this group? All absent?
Ma'am, I think no one is around po from their
Ah,
group.
okay. No one is around. So, Herona. So, okay. Celso, Aduro, and Yungke. All absent. Okay, absent. Okay, last group. Okay, Andrea.
Ma'am,
This is
umulit
done?
na po.
Tapos na to? Alright.
Yes po.
Okay, sige. I hope that we learn from this sharing or interaction from the giving of my feedback on these tasks that you have done. Oops, what was that? Sorry. What happened to my... I don't think I'll be able to show the video because it's the raw background that that's showing. Okay. Anyway, we only have 11 minutes left here. But before we proceed, I don't think okay, we can have a deepening or clarification of the course, but anyway, we're already in our third week. We're now in our fourth week. So I just want feedback from you with regard to how we do the activities in class. Okay, so I hope you have already seen the pattern. Like, I provide you the video lectures beforehand, and you're asked to provide me discussion board postings before our meeting, and I was able to adjust your the deadline. Actually, it's before, it used to be on a Sunday, but now it's on a Monday. And then during our synchronous sessions, okay, we do have deepening and clarifications of the video lecture, and Thursdays would be more on the application of the topics we discussed during the synchronous session. So I hope you have already seen that pattern. Okay, now with regard to the bulk of the work, your workload here, so how is it? Do I need to make some adjustments? Is it too heavy for you to work on those things, on the things that I let you do? So can you give me feedback, please, so we can improve on this? Because once I receive those feedback from you, I'll check how I can adjust if there are things that you want me to adjust. Yes, Agatha.
Ma'am, I think yung doon lang po for our asynchronous activities, yung related nga po sa lessons.
Okay.
I think everyone was surprised that it was same day deadline. So I guess if it could be until Friday or Saturday,
okay.
that would help the quality of our work din po.
Okay. Sige. So the deadlines for the async, okay, can be extended. All right.
Ma'am, yung naging result po kasi parang nagpanic na po lahat kami to the point na hindi na po nakapagsimula dahil malapit po yung deadline.
Sige. All right. Those are noted, Jay and Agatha. So the deadline can be extended. Okay, I can extend actually up to Sunday or right before, if that's the case. So yeah, noted on these. So the deadlines may be extended. Okay. Other things? Are there other things that we can improve on aside from those workload concerns? By the way, there's this issue. Okay, that I learned that there's one from ELS1 who shared a file in this, to the group here, okay, to the 2ELS2. And that file was also shared to another group in 3ELS1. I'll need to confront to check what happened to the person concerned. But okay, if you're the recipient, of course, you can do anything because that's just shared to you. But we don't do that. Okay, that's cheating, and that's also, you know, it's also important to afford respect to your group mates, because yes, you may be grouped with someone you don't like, but it's not always like that you get to choose your group mates. All right, so please do respect your group mates by just having the output among yourselves, because that's your own scholarly work. So please be mindful of that. Okay, what about, because the other section raised this earlier, what about the vid, okay, the, what do you call this? The discussion board posting and the async. Because they're saying that, okay, it's too much. So what you're telling me is just to extend the deadline for the async, right? But you get the idea that for every video lecture, there must be some form of processing by having the discussion board posting. So you're okay with that naman, di ba? It's
Yes,
just with the
Yes,
ma'am.
deadline.
ma'am.
Okay, just with the deadline. Okay, so I think that's what I will just need to raise with the other section, because they're saying, can we just have an alternate video DB posting and async, because we're supposed to meet 3 hours in a week, given the traditional way, the traditional scenario. Okay. Yeah. What else? Other things. So I'm very open to your comments, suggestions, so how we can improve on. So we'll learn from each other, and we'll definitely, hopefully, okay, you can learn more. So I'm actually delighted hearing or reading your comments, those feedback, those interactions that you're doing in the discussion board forum.
Ma'am.
Yes, Yani.
For this activity po yung sa async, actually, sorry po. It's clear now because to be honest po, I mean, the whole block was kind of confused on how we're going to present it. But since the interaction was helpful naman po, now we're more aware for the next time we're going
Next
to do
time.
it again.
Okay. Yeah, but of course, next time you also need to clarify with me, huh? We have our group there, so I'm open for those clarifications, because we don't get to meet face to face, and I told you before that my commitment is to be present, okay? To be present in a way, okay, such that when you have questions, email and stuff like that, so I'll respond immediately to those concerns. And also, one more thing. There's this one that was raised earlier about the video lectures. If I'm going to provide them to you, yes, they're all there in the Blackboard. But the thing is, what um it concerns my privacy, because once I place my video lecture collections in Panopto, everyone can actually access them. And I don't want, those not from my class to be accessing them. 40 something, faculty and students would, even if not all would access, but if they see those, and I don't want, people not from our class to be accessing. So you just need to send me request that for access. So I'll grant, okay, such anytime. I always have my phone with me, and I have access to that. So if you want to check the video lecture, then you just need to request for access. So I'll grant that immediately. All right?
Yes, ma'am. Thank
Yes.
you po.
Okay. Sige. So, okay, we'll have then the extension of the activity for the cautions this Thursday. And then next meeting we'll have cognitive interviewing. All right. So, thank you everyone. See you on Tuesday. for the
Thank you,
sync.
ma'am.
Okay.
Have a
Bye-bye.
nice day po. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.